Hey everyone, there was a time when I believed that strength was about muscles, about power, about standing tall. But life has a way of teaching us that true strength is something much deeper. True strength is found in the heart that refuses to give up, in the soul that chooses to shine even when surrounded by darkness. That, my friends, is the power of unbreakable women. An unbreakable woman is not someone who has never fallen. She is someone who has fallen 1,000 times and still chooses to rise. She is the woman who faces rejection but refuses to believe she is not enough. She is the woman who carries scars, not as signs of weakness, but as marks of battle she has conquered. But let me tell you something important. Unbreakable women are not born. They are made through struggle, through failures, through heartbreaks. They are shaped by the moments that try to break them, but instead, they turn them into warriors. And yet, the world often tells us to be silent, to be soft, to shrink ourselves to fit in. But why should we? Why should we lower our voices when we have stories to tell? Why should we step back when we are meant to lead? An unbreakable woman knows that her voice is powerful, that her dreams are valid, that her existence is enough. So, to every woman out there, do not let the world tell you who you should be. Be fierce, be bold, and most importantly, be you. Because an unbreakable woman is not defined by her circumstances. She is defined by the way she chooses to rise despite them. And to those who are still fighting their battles, I say this: you are stronger than you think. You are more powerful than you believe. And one day you will look back and realize you were never broken. You were only being rebuilt into the strongest version of yourself. True strength is often misunderstood. Many people believe that strength comes from physical power, from muscles, from the ability to lift heavy weights or dominate in physical challenges. But if we look deeper, we realize that true strength is something far greater than mere physicality. True strength is the ability to endure, to rise after every fall, to keep going when everything inside you says to give up. It is resilience. The ability to bend but never break, to face hardships and still move forward with courage and hope. Resilience is the foundation of true strength. It is not something we are born with. It is something we develop through the trials of life. Every challenge, every setback, every failure is an opportunity to grow stronger, to become more resilient. Imagine a tree standing tall in the middle of a storm. The wind tries to break it, the rain beats down on it, but it does not fall. It sways, it bends, but its roots are deep and it remains standing. That is resilience. That is strength. Life has a way of testing us, of throwing obstacles in our path when we least expect them. Some people might see these obstacles as signs to stop, as proof that they are not meant to succeed. But those who understand the power of resilience see challenges differently. They see them as opportunities to learn, to grow, to become stronger. A woman who has faced rejection but refuses to give up on her dreams. A person who has faced loss but continues to love. A soul who has been hurt but still chooses kindness. These are the truly strong. Their strength does not come from an absence of pain, but from their ability to keep going despite it. Think of the people who inspire us the most. They are not always the ones who have had an easy life, who have never known failure or sorrow. No, the people who inspire us are the ones who have faced the worst and still found a way to rise. They are the ones who have been knocked down again and again, but have refused to stay down. They are the ones who have walked through fire and emerged stronger than ever. That is true strength. But resilience does not mean that we do not feel pain, that we do not struggle. It does not mean that we never cry or never feel broken. Resilience means that even in those moments of despair, even when we feel like we have nothing left, we still choose to take one more step. We still choose to believe that tomorrow will be better, we still choose to rise. Every person has a story of resilience within them. There are people who have lost everything and yet found the strength to rebuild their lives. There are individuals who have been told they are not good enough, but have proven the world wrong. There are those who have been hurt deeply but have chosen to heal and move forward with love instead of bitterness. These people are not special in the sense that they were given some extraordinary gift. They are special because they chose resilience. They chose strength. The beauty of resilience is that it is not dependent on circumstances. It does not matter where you come from, what challenges you face, or what limitations the world places on you. Resilience is a choice. It is the decision to stand up every time you fall, to keep fighting even when the odds are against you. And the more you choose resilience, the stronger you become. We live in a world that often glorifies external strength, the ability to lift, to fight, to conquer. But the strongest people are not always the loudest, the most physically powerful, or the ones who seem invincible on the outside. The strongest people are often the quiet warriors, the ones who face battles that no one sees, the ones who struggle in silence but refuse to give up. Resilience is a skill that can be cultivated. It is built through small acts of courage every single day. When you wake up after a terrible night and decide to keep going, you are building resilience. When you face failure and refuse to let it define you, you are building resilience. When you choose kindness in a world that has been unkind to you, you are proving that your strength is greater than your circumstances. True strength is not measured by how much we can carry, but by how much we can endure. It is not about winning every battle, but about refusing to surrender to defeat. It is about standing tall, even when the weight of the world is on our shoulders. It is about believing in ourselves even when no one else does. It is about choosing hope even in the face of despair. One of the greatest lessons in life is understanding that we are stronger than we think. We are capable of more than we believe. And often it is only when we are tested, when we are pushed to our limits, that we discover the depth of our own strength. We realize that we have survived things we never thought we could. We realize that every hardship has made us stronger. Every struggle has shaped us into who we are meant to be. So the next time life knocks you down, remember this: you are not weak for falling. You are not weak for feeling pain. True strength is not about never falling. It is about rising every single time. It is about looking at the challenges in front of you and saying, I will not give up. I will not be broken. I will keep going. Because that is the power of resilience. That is the power of true strength. Unbreakable women are not born with extraordinary strengths. They are made through the fire of struggles, failures, and hardships. Their resilience is forged in the depths of adversity, where pain and setbacks become stepping stones to greatness. Every scar they carry is a testament to battles fought and won, not just against the world, but against their own fears and doubts. Strength does not come from an easy life, but from a life that has tested every fiber of their being, forcing them to dig deep within themselves and find power they never knew they had. There are moments in every woman's life when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when the dreams she once held close begin to slip through her fingers, and when she questions whether she has the strength to keep going. But it is in these very moments that unbreakable women are formed. Hardships do not destroy them, they refine them. Each challenge they face is not a roadblock but a lesson, a push to rise higher than before. Every failure, rather than defining them, shapes them into warriors who refuse to be defeated. Society often tells women who they should be, how they should behave, and what limits they must accept. But unbreakable women do not conform to these expectations. They shatter them. They have been told no more times than they can count. They have been rejected, underestimated, and overlooked. Yet, instead of allowing these experiences to diminish them, they have used them as fuel to push forward. They know that failure is not the opposite of success, but a crucial part of it. Every setback is a lesson, every mistake a teacher, and every disappointment a step towards something greater. Pain is often seen as something to be avoided, but unbreakable women understand that pain is a part of growth. They have walked through the darkest moments of their lives, endured heartbreak, betrayal, and loss, yet they did not allow these experiences to break them. They felt every ounce of pain, but they refused to be defined by it. Instead, they turned their wounds into wisdom, their sorrow into strength. They learned that suffering can either destroy a person or transform them, and they chose transformation. Life does not hand out strength freely. It must be earned. And for many women, strength is earned through the endless battles they fight, sometimes alone, sometimes in silence. They have faced moments when they wanted to give up, when they felt too exhausted to take another step. But deep within them, there was always a small flicker of hope, a voice whispering, "You are stronger than this." And so they rose again and again, proving to themselves and the world that they are unbreakable. Hardships come in many forms. Some women battle against societal norms that try to limit their potential. Others fight against personal insecurities that threaten to hold them back. Some experience deep losses that make them question everything they thought they knew. And yet, through all of this, they keep going. They know that every struggle is not a reason to stop, but a reason to push harder. They understand that challenges do not come to weaken them, but to build them into the person they are meant to be. A woman who has never known struggle may appear strong, but a woman who has been tested by life and has emerged stronger is truly unbreakable. It is not the easy moments that define a person. It is the moments when everything seems to be falling apart, when hope is barely visible and yet she chooses to stand tall. These are the moments that shape her, that carve resilience into her soul. She does not crumble under pressure. She becomes stronger because of it. There is a special kind of strength that comes from surviving what was meant to destroy you. It is the kind of strength that cannot be taken away because it has been earned through tears, through sleepless nights, through battles fought in silence. Unbreakable women do not seek comfort in easy victories. They embrace the struggles that forge them into something greater. They are not afraid of failure because they understand that failure is merely a chapter, not the end of the story. When the world doubts them, they do not let that doubt seep into their own hearts. When people tell them they are not capable, they do not listen. They know that their value is not determined by others' opinions, but by their own belief in themselves. They do not wait for permission to chase their dreams. They go after them with unwavering determination. They have learned that if they wait for the world to make space for them, they will be waiting forever. So they carve their own path, even if it means walking alone. No one becomes unbreakable by living a life free of difficulties. The strongest women have known pain so deep it nearly consumed them, but they refuse to let it define them. They have fallen, not once but many times, yet each time they have risen stronger than before. Their stories are not ones of perfection, but of perseverance. They have been afraid, but they did not let fear stop them. They have faced rejection, but they did not let it silence them. They have been hurt, but they did not let it turn them bitter. To be unbreakable is not to be free from struggle, it is to be forged by it. It is to embrace the hardships as part of the journey, knowing that every storm passes, but the lessons remain. It is to find power in pain, to rise even when the world tries to keep you down. Unbreakable women are not special because they have never been broken. They are special because they have been broken and have chosen to rebuild themselves stronger than ever. They are the women who refuse to accept limitations, who do not let the past dictate their future. They understand that life is not about waiting for circumstances to be perfect, but about finding strength even in the messiness of it all. They do not need validation from the world because they have already validated themselves. They know who they are, what they are capable of, and that no amount of hardship can take that away from them. The road to becoming unbreakable is not an easy one. It is filled with failures, with moments of doubt, with nights spent wondering if they will ever make it through. But they do. They always do. Because unbreakable women do not give up. They do not let pain define them. They take everything life throws at them and use it to build something beautiful, something powerful, something that cannot be shaken. They are not unbreakable because they have never been hurt. They are unbreakable because they have turned their pain into power. They are not fearless, but they do not let fear stop them. They are not perfect, but they do not let imperfection hold them back. They are warriors, not because they have never known defeat, but because they refuse to stay defeated. Every hardship, every struggle, every failure has made them who they are. And who they are is unstoppable. Who they are is powerful. Who they are is unbreakable. Society has long placed restrictions on women, dictating how they should behave, what they should say, and when they should remain silent. For generations, women have been told to lower their voices, to suppress their opinions, and to conform to expectations that diminish their power. They have been conditioned to believe that their worth is tied to their ability to be agreeable, to avoid confrontation, and to fit into predefined roles. But the truth is that women's voices are not just important, they are necessary. Their words hold the power to inspire, to challenge, to bring about change, and to reshape the very foundation of society. And despite the countless attempts to silence them, women throughout history have continued to rise, proving time and time again that their voices cannot and will not be ignored. The silencing of women does not always come in the form of outright oppression. Sometimes it is subtle. It is in the way a woman is interrupted in a meeting when she tries to express an idea. It is in the way her opinions are dismissed or credited to someone else. It is in the way she is made to feel as though her words hold less weight simply because of her gender. These moments may seem insignificant on their own, but when they are experienced repeatedly, they reinforce the idea that a woman's voice is less valuable, that she should remain quiet, that her thoughts are not as important as those of the men around her. But an unbreakable woman refuses to accept these limitations. She knows that her voice matters, and she will not allow anyone to take that away from her. Women's voices are powerful because they carry truth. They carry experiences that have been overlooked, emotions that have been suppressed, and perspectives that have been denied the space they deserve. When a woman speaks her truth, she is not just speaking for herself. She is speaking for the countless others who have been silenced before her. She is breaking the chains of generations of oppression, paving the way for those who will come after her, and proving that no amount of societal pressure can keep her quiet. She understands that silence is not an option, because silence allows injustice to thrive, and she refuses to be complicit in that. The power of a woman's voice is seen in the movements that have shaped history. Women have spoken out against oppression, have fought for their rights, and have demanded to be heard even when the world tried to shut them out. They have led revolutions, written words that changed minds, and stood in the face of adversity with unwavering strength. Every step forward that society has taken toward equality has been fueled by women who refuse to be silent. And yet, despite this progress, the struggle continues. Women are still told to lower their voices, to be more polite, to avoid being too loud or too opinionated. But what those who seek to silence them fail to understand is that the more they try to suppress women's voices, the louder they will become. A woman's voice is powerful because it can create change. It can challenge traditions that no longer serve society. It can bring attention to injustices that have been ignored, and it can inspire others to stand up and fight for what is right. When a woman speaks up, she's not just making noise, she's demanding justice, she's asserting her presence, she is refusing to be erased. And that is exactly why society tries to silence her, because they fear the power that lies within her words. They fear the disruption she will cause, the systems she will dismantle, and the freedom she will claim. But no woman should have to fight to be heard. Her voice is her right. She should not have to shout just to be acknowledged, nor should she have to justify her place in conversations that affect her life. The world benefits when women speak, when their ideas are valued, when their contributions are recognized. A society that listens to its women is a society that grows, that evolves, that becomes stronger. Because women do not just speak for themselves. They speak for their families, for their communities, for the future generations who will live in the world they are helping to shape. Despite the obstacles placed in their path, women continue to raise their voices. They do so in boardrooms, in classrooms, on social media, in literature, in art, in politics, and in every space where their presence has been questioned. They know that speaking up is not always easy. They know that they will face criticism, that they will be met with resistance, that their words will be challenged. But they also know that their voices are worth the fight. They know that every time they speak, they chip away at the barriers that have been built to keep them silent. They know that their voices are the key to progress, and they refuse to let fear keep them quiet. When a woman finds the courage to speak, she encourages others to do the same. She creates a ripple effect, empowering those around her to raise their voices, to stand up for themselves, and to embrace their own strength. She becomes an example of what is possible when fear is replaced with determination, when hesitation is replaced with confidence, when silence is replaced with power. And the more women who speak, the harder it becomes to silence them. The attempt to suppress women's voices is an attempt to control them, to keep them in roles that no longer serve them, to prevent them from claiming their rightful place in the world. But women were not meant to be silent. They were not meant to exist in the shadows, to accept oppression, to settle for less than they deserve. They were meant to lead, to create, to build, to dream, to inspire. And they do so not by remaining quiet, but by speaking boldly, by making themselves heard, by refusing to be anything less than their full, unapologetic selves. There will always be those who try to silence women, who tell them that their voices are too loud, that their opinions are unwelcome, that they should sit down and let others lead. But unbreakable women know better. They know that their voices are not just important, they are essential. They know that their words have the power to challenge, to disrupt, to transform. And they know that as long as they continue to speak, they will never be defeated. Women's voices have shaped history, and they will continue to shape the future. No amount of opposition can change that. No attempt to silence them will ever succeed, because their voices are not just sounds. They are forces of change. They are echoes of the past, calls to action in the present, and promises of a future where equality is not just an idea, but a reality. And no matter how many times they are told to be quiet, to step back, to disappear, they will always rise. Because the voices of women are not just powerful, they are unstoppable. Women should embrace their authenticity and lead with confidence, because their true power lies in being unapologetically themselves. For too long, society has imposed expectations on women, telling them how they should look, behave, and think. These expectations create a constant pressure to fit into predefined roles that may not align with who they truly are. But the most powerful women are those who break free from these limitations, who stand firmly in their identity, and who lead with a confidence that comes from within. Authenticity is not just about being true to oneself. It is about embracing every aspect of one's being and refusing to conform for the sake of acceptance. The journey to authenticity is not always easy. From a young age, women are often taught to prioritize the opinions of others, to be agreeable, to avoid making waves. They are encouraged to suppress parts of themselves that might not fit into societal norms. But authenticity requires shedding these expectations and stepping into one's true self without fear. It means embracing strengths and weaknesses alike, knowing that imperfection does not diminish worth. It means speaking one's truth, even when it is uncomfortable, and standing firm in one's values even when challenged. The more a woman embraces her authenticity, the more she realizes that she is enough as she is, without the need for validation from the outside world. Leading with confidence is not about being the loudest in the room or having all the answers. It is about owning one's space without apology. Confidence comes from knowing one's worth, from recognizing one's abilities, and from understanding that one's voice matters. A confident woman does not wait for permission to lead. She steps forward because she knows she belongs there. She does not seek approval before making decisions. She trusts herself enough to take risks and navigate challenges with determination. Confidence is not something that is given. It is something that is cultivated through experience, resilience, and self-belief. The world often tries to shake women's confidence by making them doubt themselves. They are told they are too emotional, too ambitious, too outspoken. They are criticized for being assertive in spaces where men are praised for the same qualities. But a woman who embraces her authenticity does not let these judgments define her. She knows that her emotions are a strength, not a weakness. She understands that ambition is not something to be ashamed of, but something to be proud of. She refuses to shrink herself to make others comfortable because she understands that playing small serves no one. Authenticity and confidence go hand in hand. A woman who is true to herself naturally exudes confidence because she is not pretending to be someone she is not. She does not waste energy trying to fit into a mold that was never meant for her. Instead, she focuses on what makes her unique, what makes her powerful, what makes her capable. She embraces her individuality, knowing that her differences are what set her apart and make her extraordinary. Leading with confidence does not mean never experiencing doubt. Even the most successful and self-assured women have moments of uncertainty, but the difference is that they do not allow doubt to control them. They acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward despite it. They understand that confidence is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. Every time a woman chooses to believe in herself, even when the world tells her not to, she strengthens her confidence and inspires others to do the same. The power of an authentic and confident woman is undeniable. She stands tall in her truth, unafraid to challenge the status quo. She does not compromise her values for the sake of fitting in. She leads not by trying to imitate others, but by embracing what makes her different. Her presence commands respect because she respects herself first. She does not seek external validation because she knows that her worth is not determined by others. She is guided by her own intuition, driven by her own purpose, and fueled by a belief in her own potential. Women who embrace authenticity and confidence inspire others to do the same. When a woman is unapologetically herself, she gives others permission to be themselves as well. She shows the world that it is possible to succeed without compromising one's identity. She proves that leadership is not about fitting a certain image, but about standing in one's truth. Her confidence is contagious, encouraging those around her to step into their own power. Authenticity is a radical act in a world that constantly tries to shape women into something they are not. It requires strength to reject the expectations that society imposes and to define oneself on one's own terms. It takes courage to stand firm in one's beliefs when others try to change them. But it is in authenticity that true power lies. The most influential women in history were not those who conform, but those who dared to be different. They were the ones who spoke up when others remained silent, who challenged norms, who led with conviction. A woman who embraces her authenticity does not let fear dictate her choices. She knows that not everyone will agree with her, and that is okay. She understands that not everyone will support her, and that is fine. She does not base her worth on the opinions of others, because she is secure in who she is. She leads with confidence because she knows that she is capable, that she is strong, that she is worthy. She does not let setbacks define her, but rather uses them as fuel to grow stronger. Confidence is not arrogance, it is self-assurance. It is knowing that one's presence matters, that one's voice deserves to be heard, that one's contributions are valuable. A confident woman does not diminish herself to make others comfortable. She takes up space. She owns her success, and she refuses to apologize for her ambition. She does not downplay her achievements or dismiss her talents. She recognizes them and embraces them fully. She understands that confidence is not about being perfect, but about trusting oneself despite imperfections. Embracing authenticity and confidence is a journey, not a destination. It requires constant self-reflection, growth, and resilience. It means learning to silence the inner critic that says, "You're not good enough," and replacing it with a voice that says, "You are more than enough." It means unlearning the belief that one must seek external approval and instead learning to trust oneself completely. It means standing firm in one's values, even when faced with opposition, and believing in one's worth, even when the world tries to diminish it. Women who lead with authenticity and confidence create lasting impact. They pave the way for future generations, proving that success does not require sacrificing one's identity. They break barriers simply by being themselves, by refusing to conform, by daring to stand out. Their leadership is not about dominance, but about empowerment. Empowering themselves and those around them, they uplift others, not by pretending to be something they are not, but by showing the strength in being exactly who they are. The world needs more women who are unafraid to embrace their true selves. It needs more leaders who lead with confidence, not because they have all the answers, but because they believe in their ability to figure things out. It needs more voices that are unapologetically bold, more presence that refuses to be overlooked, more women who know their worth and refuse to settle for less. The greatest gift a woman can give herself is the freedom to be who she truly is, without hesitation, without compromise, and without fear. And when she does, she not only transforms her own life, she changes the world around her. Every woman fighting battles should remember she is not broken, she is becoming stronger. Life has a way of testing people in ways they never expected. Pain, setbacks, disappointments, and hardships may feel overwhelming, but they are not signs of weakness. They are evidence of resilience, of the ability to endure and grow, of the capacity to rise even after falling. Too often, struggles make women believe they are shattered beyond repair, but in reality they are transforming, evolving into something even more powerful. Each battle they face is not meant to break them, but to forge them into the strongest versions of themselves. Strength is not built in comfort, it is shaped in adversity. The women who endure storms, who walk through fire, who face heartbreak, loss, and rejection, these are the women who emerge unshakable. Every tear shed in private, every moment of doubt, every instance where they feel lost is not evidence of brokenness but of growth. The wounds may feel deep, but wounds heal, and in their place something stronger emerges. Scars do not signify weakness. They are proof of survival. They are reminders of battles fought and won, of resilience that refused to be extinguished, of a heart that kept beating even when it felt shattered. The world often tries to define women by their struggles, labeling them as fragile or weak when they fall. But falling is not failing, it is part of the process of becoming. Strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the ability to rise despite it. The strongest women are not those who have never faced hardship, but those who have faced it and refuse to let it define them. They take every painful experience and turn it into wisdom. They take every setback and transform it into a lesson. They refuse to let suffering make them bitter. Instead, they let it make them wiser, kinder, and more determined. There are moments when it feels like the weight of the world is too heavy to carry, when exhaustion creeps in and giving up seems like the only option. But even in these moments, strength is building. It may not be visible immediately, but every time a woman chooses to keep going, to take one more step, to push forward despite the pain, she is becoming stronger. Growth is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it happens in quiet moments of perseverance, in the decision to wake up and face another day, in the refusal to let despair win. Pain has a way of revealing hidden strength. When everything seems to fall apart, when life does not go as planned, when dreams are shattered, this is when true strength is discovered. Strength is not in avoiding hardship, it is in facing it head-on, in refusing to let it define the future. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every rejection is an opportunity to rise, to prove that nothing can truly break the spirit of a woman who refuses to give up. There will be people who underestimate a woman's strength, who believe she is too fragile to endure hardship. But those who have walked through the darkest moments of life know that real strength is not about appearing unbreakable. It is about choosing to continue even when everything seems impossible. It is about facing fear and pushing forward despite it. It is about standing tall even with a heavy heart, about believing in oneself even when the world tries to diminish that belief. Strength is also found in vulnerability. It takes courage to admit when something hurts, to acknowledge pain, to ask for help. The strongest women are not those who pretend they have never struggled, but those who are honest about their battles and still choose to keep going. They do not let shame silence them. They do not hide their scars. They wear them as proof that they have survived, as reminders of the strength they did not know they had. The journey to becoming stronger is not always easy. There are moments of doubt, of questioning if the struggle is worth it, of feeling lost in the process. But every battle is shaping something greater. The woman who once doubted herself will one day look back and see that she was never broken. She was being rebuilt into someone even more powerful. She will realize that every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of pain was not a sign of failure, but a stepping stone toward resilience. Growth often comes disguised as hardship. It does not always feel like progress when in the midst of struggle. But strength is being built in the unseen moments, in the quiet perseverance, in the decision to keep trying even when giving up seems easier. Strength is forged in the moments that test patience, in the heartbreak that seems unbearable, in the losses that feel impossible to recover from. And yet, women continue to rise. Life has a way of pushing people to their limits, but it is in those moments of struggle that true power is discovered. A woman who has faced battles knows that she is more than her hardships. She is more than the pain she has endured. She is more than the moments of doubt. She is a survivor, a fighter, a force to be reckoned with. She may bend, but she will never break. She may stumble, but she will always find her way back. Every woman fighting battles should remember that she is not alone. There are countless others who have walked similar paths, who have faced similar struggles, who have risen from places they once thought they would never escape. And just like them, she too will rise. She too will find strength she never knew she had. She too will emerge from the storm with wisdom, with courage, with a deep understanding of who she truly is. Strength is not just about endurance, it is about transformation. The woman who has been tested by life does not remain the same, she evolves. She becomes wiser, more resilient, more compassionate. She learns to trust herself in ways she never did before. She realizes that she does not need validation from anyone else. She is enough as she is. Her struggles do not define her. How she rises from them does. There is power in knowing that no matter how many times life tries to break a woman, she will not shatter. She will rebuild. She will rise stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. She will carry her scars with pride, knowing that they are not signs of defeat, but of survival. She will look at herself in the mirror and see not a woman who has been broken, but a woman who has been made stronger through every battle she has faced. Every hardship, every challenge, every painful moment is a chapter in a story of resilience. And for every woman who is in the midst of her struggle, she must remember this is not the end. This is just a part of the journey. She is not broken. She is becoming. She is transforming. She is stepping into the strongest version of herself, and the world has yet to see the full power of the woman she is becoming. Every woman fighting battles must remember that she is not broken. She is becoming stronger. The struggles she faces are not meant to destroy her, but to shape her into the resilient, unshakable force she is destined to be. Pain, setbacks, and hardships are not marks of weakness. They are proof of endurance, of the courage to keep going despite adversity. Each challenge is an opportunity for growth. Each hardship a lesson in resilience. Strength is not about never falling. It is about rising every time she does. She is not defined by the obstacles in her path, but by how she overcomes them. Her scars are not signs of defeat, but symbols of survival, reminders of battles fought and won. Every tear, every moment of doubt, every heartbreak only fuels the fire within her. She is not fragile, she is powerful beyond measure. The world may try to test her limits, but she will continue to rise, transformed by her struggles, fortified by her experiences, and unstoppable in her journey. She is not just enduring, she is evolving. She is not just surviving, she is thriving. No matter how dark the path may seem, she must never forget that she carries within her the strength to rise, to rebuild, and to shine brighter than ever before. The battles she fights today will one day become the stories of her triumph, proving that she was never broken. She was always becoming.